I used to long for the rare nights when my mother would dress up in an evening gown, her heels clicking sharply as she gave me one last kiss on the forehead, then vanished into the night with her latest date. Being alone was a luxury, especially when your single mother works 12-hour shifts at a nursing home, only to come back to loud TV, drinking, and arguments with the kids. But tonight was different. Everyone had plans, and the universe had given me 5 full hours of quiet solitude. Just me, a pile of snacks, and our one shared laptop. I was thinking, shall I watch a movie or a karaoke? Dance party for one? Eventually, I settled on a scary movie and shut off the lights for that perfect, creepy vibe. I wasn't even 30 minutes in when I heard snickering. At first, I brushed it off as part of the movie's background noise, until I paused it. The snickering continued. I froze. Was it my sister playing a prank? Maybe one of the neighbor kids? Still, I wasn't taking chances. I was 16 all alone, scared, and I needed something to defend myself. The room was childproof, shared with my younger sisters, so the only weapon I found was a heavy sports trophy. Not ideal, but it would have to do. The snickering grew louder, morphing into chuckles. It sounded like a child laughing, but with the voice of an adult. Then I heard chairs scraping across the kitchen floor. Not with purpose, just pushed out of the way. What followed was worse. Wet, squelching, messy sounds, like someone slamming meat onto the counter, tearing it, mashing it. Whoever was down there was laughing. I was paralyzed. My phone was downstairs in the kitchen. I turned to the laptop. Would the police respond to an email? I sent one anyway. I also posted online begging for help. 7 agonizing minutes passed. Then, a car pulled into the driveway. It was not the police. Footsteps. A key jammed into the lock. The door swung open. The laughter stopped, then exploded into roaring hysteria. A blood-curdling scream shattered the air. I rushed to the window. My sister, running, screaming for help, and behind her, a naked man, drenched in blood, howling with laughter as he ran the opposite direction and disappeared into the night. A crowd formed outside the house. My sister kept screaming, not for attention, but from complete, helpless hysteria. Then came the red and blue lights. Officers stormed in. They found me, pale and shaking. A female officer guided me downstairs, told me to keep my eyes shut. But I looked. Through squinted eyes, I saw my mother, or what was left of her. Her head, her limbs, laid out neatly on the kitchen counter. I passed out. 47 minutes. That's how long I sat upstairs, listening to the sounds of my mother being ripped apart. The man responsible? He ran straight back to the nursing home, to his bed, laughing. He laughed as they restrained him, laughed as they took him away, laughed in the courtroom, even looked me in the eyes as his sentence was read. I wonder if he was still laughing when they strapped him to the chair. No, but he'll never laugh again, and neither will my mother.
It happened a few years ago, when I was 15. Just a regular November Friday night in our quiet corner of Ohio. Our home sat near a forest, with open fields across the road and only a handful of neighbors. To the left, an old couple, usually quiet. To the right, a middle-aged pair who always worked night shifts. Down the street, a sweet family with a 4-year-old who loved to play with me and my 9-year-old brother. But that night, my brother was sleeping over at a friend's place. And my parents had gone out, probably wouldn't return until the early morning hours. I had the house to myself. A rare, peaceful night in. Snow was falling gently outside. I watched some TV, ate leftover rice and chicken. Later, I jumped on the Xbox and played some Halo. It was uneventful until around 11 p.m. That's when I got that feeling. You know the one, like something's off. I brushed it off, probably just nerves from being alone. But then I heard it. My blood ran cold. That wasn't the game. That wasn't the TV. It came from the window, right above the couch, right above me. I jumped up and pulled the blinds. Nothing. Just snow falling. Calm. Normal. Too normal. I tried to shake it off. Maybe ice fell from the roof? Still, I couldn't get rid of that gut feeling that whatever hit the glass wasn't an accident. Trying to calm down, I went into the office, sat at the computer, just something to take my mind off of it. It worked. For a little while. About 35 minutes later. From the window to my right, I nearly puked. This wasn't random. This wasn't weather. This was intentional. I ran to the kitchen, grabbed a flashlight and a knife. Defense and visibility. I was prepared now, or so I told myself. I shined the light into the yard, toward the trees. Nothing. Just the snow and faint footprints from the house to the forest. My hands were shaking as I called my mom. She answered. I told her everything. Her voice turned serious. Lock the doors. If it happens again, call the cops. Be safe. They offered to come back. I told them no. I didn't want to ruin their night. I locked every door and window. Then I headed up to my room with my phone, knife, and flashlight. Still clinging to the hope that it was all in my head, I played music and tried to sleep. Queen was playing when I thought I heard something. My heart dropped with every hit. Then silence. I didn't move. I just called my parents again. They got home around 3 a.m. We searched the outside. My dad carried his handgun. Nothing except for deep footprints, now clearly visible in the thicker snow. They circled the house, stopped at every window. At the side door, a massive dent, like someone had beaten it with a hammer. Morning came. My dad went out to the forest to follow the trail. When he returned, his face was pale. He found a small shelter. Inside, photographs of our house, a sledgehammer. Still wedged with splinters of our back door, and tracks that led out to the road, across the field. I didn't stay home alone at night again for years. Every Wednesday, my parents go on a date. They leave around 5 p.m., and I'm home alone for the night. It's always been a normal part of our week. Peaceful even. I'm an only child, and by now I'm old enough to stay home without needing a babysitter. But recently, something's been happening. Something strange. It started a few weeks ago. At exactly 6:45 p.m., I heard knocking. 3 solid knocks on the front door. I figured it was a neighbor, or maybe my parents came back early. But when I opened the door, no one was there. Odd, but maybe just some dumb prank. I let it go. Then it happened again. Exactly 6:45. 3 knocks. No one there. After that, it became a weekly thing. Every Wednesday, 6:45, 3 knocks, no one. I didn't tell my parents. It didn't feel serious, just annoying. Weird. But then last week, things changed. It was Wednesday, August 17th. My parents left, like always. I was on the couch, watching Bones. The volume was low. I was half listening for the knock. 6:45 rolled around, and nothing. No knocks, no sounds. I waited. 5 minutes, still nothing. I should have felt relieved, but instead, I felt uneasy. After months of the same pattern, it just stopped. I had to check. I opened the front door and stepped outside. It was quiet. The sky was cloudy, but still bright from the setting sun. No one was around. But then I looked down. On the doormat, a small envelope. No return address, just my first name, Elijah, written in neat, almost printed handwriting. It definitely wasn't there earlier. Someone had hand-delivered it, and that someone knew my name. I felt my stomach turn. I didn't open it. Not yet. I went upstairs and slid it under my pillow. I wasn't going to read it while I was home alone. I locked the front door, went back to the couch, and tried to pretend everything was normal. My parents came back around 8. I didn't mention the letter. I wish I had. Instead. But the truth is, I was scared. I waited until yesterday to open it. The envelope contained a ripped piece of lined paper. On it, in that same perfect handwritten script, said, "Elijah, You have been so lonely recently. So, very lonely. Do you enjoy my visits? If you find this letter before your parents do, I'll assume the answer is yes. You should let me in sometime. I'd love to visit. Now I'm terrified. They know my full name. They've been watching. They've been waiting. Why now? Why make contact? And how do they know so much about me? My parents are going out again this Wednesday, and I'm honestly scared of what's coming next. This is the first time the visitor has spoken to me. Will they try to come inside next? I haven't told anyone in real life. Not yet. But if something else happens, a letter, a knock, a visit, I'll post again.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the story, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll be back soon with more terrifying tales. Until then, stay safe out there.